Yo, Adrian.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 558, and it is your review of Creed 2. We're on our way to almost watching Creed 3, so we are going to stop at this second installment to talk about this movie on our way to getting to this very highly anticipated third film in the franchise, in this sequel, in this trilogy. But before we get into any of that, I'm your host, Larry Chicano, Raul, alongside my wonderful co-host, Brad Young Yoda.
So what's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful Wednesday. And if you didn't know, we've already reviewed this movie. Not me personally.
Not Brad. Brad reviewed it, but myself, Luis, Luis G, not Luis A, and Damone from T13 Media, what's it called, got on in episode 21 of the Nerdy Chicano Show to review Creed 2. Go ahead and go back to hear
If you
my
didn't know that.
yeah. But fuck it. What's it called? Not entirely canon. Maybe it's canon. I don't know.
I don't know. It's so long ago, we can review this again.
Yeah. Well, Brad, what's up, man? How are you today?
I'm doing all right. No complaints, really. So, work, come home, sleep, work, come home, sleep, work, come home, sleep. Maybe
Well,
one day
Brad.
die.
Well, Brad, you work, come home, podcast, sleep.
Yeah, yeah. That's usually how this goes. But
Yeah,
not
well,
every day. Not every day.
not every day, right?
No.
Well, man, I'm glad that at least for 30 minutes we can what's it called? We can make things a little brighter. Right?
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Oh,
Make it more entertaining anyways
yeah.
for the people listening and those around the world.
Damn straight. Of course, we want to thank you all so much. What's it called for supporting our Ray Liotta month and our road here, and we are very excited to talk about this because Brad had never watched Creed 2,
No.
Creed
Or
1.
Creed 1.
Yeah, but Brad was like, Creed 1 was so good, and Brad was like, fuck it, I watched Creed 2.
I'll watch Creed 2. I'll go right on the sequel if it's there.
Yep,
I binged these movies.
yep, yep. Even to the point that I asked Brad, like, hey, Brad, would you actually be interested in watching Creed 3, what's it called, in the theater? And he goes, yeah, I would. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, man,
Like
that's
hopefully I get to it. Like I did watch Cocaine Bear in the theaters, so
damn
you know,
straight.
pop the
Damn
cherry
straight.
there.
Yep. Hey, Stacy's in here. Wasn't that Brock Lesnar's line? Oh no. Um, thank you, Stacy. Of course, this is live and early for patrons via
Patreons.
patreon.com/the nerdcore. All you need to do is go over to our $1 tier and you get access to the live version of this podcast. The public gets to listen to this a little bit like a day late or like 2 days late. But either way, it's live for patrons. And Stacy, we thank you for being in here.
Thank you,
But
Stacy.
yeah, man, Brad, not much going on today for myself. Went to work. Brad, actually, I went to work and the power went out throughout the
You got a
whole
storm going
school.
on or something?
No, the whole
Huh.
school's power went out. But dude, I wow, it was pitch black, bro. Like I couldn't
Oh,
see
that's
shit.
well,
That
no
was
shit.
scary.
That's yeah, no kidding. Like your
Yeah.
eyesight isn't good anyway, and just make it pitch black.
Yeah, dude, it was like scary. I was like, "Whoa, like what
It's like,
the fuck is going on here?"
were you having Last of Us flashbacks? And you're just like, oh
Yeah.
Christ.
Well, the good thing is that the service lights ended up turning on.
Okay, well at least
So
you
we
had
have
that.
those. But
If you start
um
hearing clicking, just like don't make a sound.
yeah, no, no. But yeah, that was kind of scary, man. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, like 30 minutes later it came back. The
Mhm.
power came back, but who knows what it
Yeah,
was, but yeah.
we are currently under an extreme winter weather event. So I might be getting 4 to 6 inches of snow.
That's gonna be great to wake up to, huh?
Uh, They push back work though to later, but it might be one of those days where I'm like,
It's just one of those days.
nah. Just one of those days where you go, nah.
Yeah. Well, Brad, what can I say? I don't get snow here, and I'm glad because after 6 months of Chicago and being able to actually experience
Ugh.
snow for real,
Yeah, no
I am
kidding.
glad that I never ever want to see that again.
I mean, y'all get snow here and there.
I mean, eventually, but it's not fucking negative degree weather, Brad.
Well, it's not negative degree weather here either.
Yeah.
It's 28s, it's 20s and 30 degrees, but it's just like I don't know. This is like the most extreme storm events that we've gotten in years, and it's just like, well, this is annoying
Yeah.
because I got shit to put on my truck, and it's just like too cold to do it.
Damn. Well, guys, if you haven't watched Creed 2, then this is your chance to get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you have watched the film or you don't care about spoilers, then you can stay. Either way, how any of those two situations go, this is your one and only spoiler warning. And it is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's right. Let's go. The roller banners up. Let's get to reading this, Brad, because it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot for a sequel of a Rocky spinoff.
Yeah. All right, Brad. Creed 2 is a 2018 American sports drama film directed by Steven Caple Jr. If you don't know what Steven Caple Jr. has directed, I believe he's the one who did Jungle Cruise, or is that somebody else? Um, No, I'm sorry. Stephen Caple Jr. is the one who's directing Transformers: Rise of the Beast, the seventh live action Transformers film, Brad. That's yet to come. So, from a screenplay by Joel Taylor and Sylvester Stallone. The film is a sequel to Creed 2015 and the eighth installment in the Rocky film series. It stars Michael B. Jordan, Stallone, Tessa Thompson, Wood Harris, Felicia Rashad, Florian Montague, and Dolph Lundgren. In the film, under the continued tutelage of Rocky Balboa, Donnie Creed faces off against Victor Drago, the son of Ivan Drago. A Creed sequel was confirmed in January 2016, but was delayed as Ryan Coogler, the director of the predecessor, and Jordan faced scheduling conflicts due to their involvement in Black Panther. Coogler was originally replaced by Stallone, who completed the screenplay by July 2017, but was replaced by Caple that December, with Coogler instead serving as an executive producer of Creed 2. The rest of the cast, including the returns of Thompson, Rashad, and Lundgren, was finalized by March 2018, and principal photography began that same month and lasted until that June, with filming primarily taking place on location in Philadelphia. Creed 2 had its premiere on November 14, 2018 at the Lincoln Center in New York City and was released in the United States by Mirror Releasing and internationally by Warner Brothers Pictures on November 21st. The film received generally positive reviews from critics who praised the performances, particularly those of Stallone, Jordan, and Lundgren, character development, and Caple's direction, while noting its predictability. It was also a commercial success, grossing $214 million worldwide. The sequel, Creed 3, directed by Jordan in his directorial debut, is scheduled to be released on March 3rd, 2023, which is in a couple of days. Well, tomorrow the previews are, but yeah. So, Brad, this movie is shot by Kramer Morgenthau, who
Who?
shot Thor: The Dark World. Okay.
Oh, that I would not put that on my resume.
He's also shot Respect and The Many Saints of Newark.
Never seen him. I don't know what that is, but I would definitely not put Thor: The Dark World on my resume.
Yeah. Um, but he's also shot a couple of episodes of HBO's Game of Thrones, Boardwalk Empire, and Fahrenheit 451.
Huh, there you go.
So it
There you go.
balances itself out, right?
I would put that on my resume.
Yeah.
I would put those on my resume.
It balances itself out, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
It has 3 editors, Brad: Dana E. Globerman, Saira Hyder, and Paul Harb. The music is done just like the last film by Ludwig Göransson, and of course it sits at 2 hours and 10 minutes. And on a budget of $50 million, this movie made 214.1 million at the box office. So consider that a success.
People like Rocky.
People like Rocky, man.
Don't know what
Yep,
it is.
yep. Michael B. Jordan too. You know what's it called? At this point, is where Michael B. Jordan's really getting bigger, and he's really starting to crack into it. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. But Brad, since this is the first time you've seen this film, and obviously I've reviewed this before, Brad, what are your initial thoughts on Creed 2?
It was all right. I didn't hate it. I liked it. But it's a far fall from Creed, the first Creed, in my eyes. I mean, it makes me wonder what Ryan Coogler would have done with this film. Honestly,
Makes me wonder what what's it called, Sylvester Stallone would have done with this movie, Brad.
yeah. I mean, but I'm more interested in Ryan Coogler since he did the first
Yeah.
film. Since I really enjoyed the first film, which got me into watching this film. Um, I honestly did like the cinematography. I think the fight scenes were also, again, those were good. They've got that formula down for the fight scenes. I did have issues with the plotline story that I've told you many a time. Um, like if you were actually in the world of boxing, Michael B. Jordan would never face Victor Drago except in a non-sanctioned fight. And in this, they're fighting for titles. Michael B. Jordan in the first film is a light heavyweight. Like they literally say that he's fighting for the light heavyweight. And then he suddenly turns into heavyweight in this film, even though he didn't like gain any weight or anything. And Victor Drago is about 2 times his size. So to me, the story is just like, not there in that respect. Now at the end, you can make the argument at the end that Michael B. Jordan in the desert gaining all that weight did earn his heavyweight slot, and I'll allow that. But for the most part, I didn't think this story was just overall great as in the first Creed, and I mean, really, the first Creed is Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone just working so well together, and you didn't have a lot of that here, in my eyes. They work all right together, but not as much as in the first film.
All right. Um, so I watched this again for second time now. I still really like this movie. I don't think it's as good as the first Creed. I think it's missing a lot of the pizzazz that Brian Coogler brings to the director's chair, and you can tell because I feel like one of the things that this movie really, really has a hard time doing is balancing like the what's it called the other parts of Adonis's life, like Bianca, the child, like
Hmm.
the fact that we get the birth of the baby, right, and we get that test real quick from of like the what's it called of the hearing, and then it's just never brought up again during the
No,
film.
other than the child wearing hearing
Yeah,
aids,
yeah,
I gotta admit I did like the scene where Rocky goes with him to the hospital and Rocky's waiting outside.
yeah.
That was a very well done scene in my eyes.
Yeah, but I felt like Steven Caple Jr. and I don't know, maybe it was the script as well to an extent. Sylvester Stallone's script was like really, really wanted to concentrate more on the Victor Drago and Adonis Creed story,
Yeah,
and even then, like honestly, that's what I love the most because I think that especially the third act is so poetic. Just Ivan Drago throwing in the towel for his son, even though like he's breaking the code, like he's already broken the code once for Russian boxing, and he's broken it again when he what's it called makes his son give up, and I think that was great. But I feel like the script is like, oh, I want to do more of this, but I have to include all these other stuff. It's kind of like, hey, let me just go ahead and update you on Adonis and Bianca and not really,
yeah.
put a lot in there. And especially like the first film, I feel like has a really good balance of Bianca, Sly, I mean, what's it called? Bianca, Rocky, and Adonis. And then,
Hmm.
this one just like, oh,
Yeah,
Rocky, yeah.
yeah. They're may. I mean, of course, they're gonna focus on the Drago storyline because that's a real big thing from the original Rocky, movies, and that Drago is the one who killed, you know, Adonis's father, Apollo. So that real big to doings there. Um, I don't know. I did like the fight scene where he throws the towel in for his son because his son's more important, and he
Especially the way he
sees that,
shot that.
and the way they built that story up, being like, oh, he's trying to get back into the good graces of the Russian, I guess, oligarchy, and try to esteem himself and try his son's going to bring back their honor that he lost for losing. And then at the end, he just realizes, you know what? Fuck all of them. They don't mean nothing. They don't mean anything. Like only my
Yep.
son's important, and that was a good part. But I don't know. Like you said, like I think they focus mainly on that, and then everything else is kind of like a little subplot that they don't put enough into.
Yeah.
Like even the birth of the child is just like that one scene and it's done. There's nothing really going more into that.
Yeah, and it's just I wish they would have balanced the script out better. And
Yeah,
uh, unlike Brad, I don't have a problem with what's it called, Adonis facing Victor. I'm sorry, Brad. This is a fictional movie, man.
I
These
don't
aren't real
care.
boxers.
I don't care. If you're having a championship fight, like in like the world championship in boxing, you're not going to put a lightweight against a heavyweight, which in the
But he's
beginning of
not,
this
Brad. He's
film,
competing in the heavyweight class.
the man is a light heavyweight from the first movie.
Yes, but
That
in the
is what he was
second,
competing at. That was what he was competing at. When you get to the second one, you look at him versus Victor Drago. That man is still a lightweight versus a huge giant beast of a man.
but Brad, in the beginning, literally the announcers say that it's a heavyweight fight. It's for the heavyweight championship.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would put a light heavyweight into a heavyweight championship because he didn't change from the first movie into the very beginning of that movie.
I
He
feel like
didn't
he did.
change until the end fight when he got huge from just working out in the desert and slinging sledgehammers all over because
Which,
that's
by
how
the
that
way,
works.
great sequence. Oh my god, I love the music in that sequence. Just like it's mixing like the old Rocky music, and like
Hmm.
Ludwig Göransson is doing like this great thing with the score, and he's got that song in the back. Once again, Ludwig Göransson is certified. Okay, he's certified. He
I mean,
knows how to make a damn good
I
score.
like the music in this one. I don't like as much as the first one
Oh no,
because
the
that
first one's
first
great.
one because that first one I had plenty Meek Mill and I was digging that. So,
Yeah, I believe this one was now what's his name? Mike Will made it or something
Mike
like
Will made
that.
it. Yeah,
Like, well, yeah, yeah, that's who's working on this one. But I still think it's a damn good score, bro.
it's
Like,
good. Like,
yeah,
don't get me wrong. Like that's been some of the highlights of this whole film franchise. Been the music.
yeah. I also like, of course, what's it called? I love the overarching story of like Donnie having to like realize that like, if you want to keep being a boxer here and you keep wanting to fight, like you have to realize who you're fighting for, because you're not doing it for your dad, you're not doing it for your mom, you're obviously not doing it for Bianca and your child. Like there's it's
You're
for
doing it for
you.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, and I really like that overarching story here. I just, like I said, I just wish they would have balanced it out better. Even though, like, I love the cinematography in this movie. Like, you can tell, like, that's where I feel like Coogler had a heavy hand. It was like, here, stick to the look that I had, trusted my last cinematographer to create. Like, this is the overall look of what this film
what you want
looks
the
like.
what you want this Rocky spinoff to be, which is a good look. Let's be real here. It's a good look,
Stacy says, I don't know. I've heard sand is high in protein, gluten free even.
but it's coarse and it gets everywhere.
It's coarse and gets everywhere. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, and I like that they stuck to that. There wasn't a lot of like montages like in the last one that I felt like really
I
helped
mean, the
out.
desert scene
Yeah.
that might kind of be it,
But I
where
mean
he
like those
falls.
quick cut montages of like the
Yeah,
blood and stuff. Like not
yeah,
really.
which I was kind of missing that.
Yeah. But I still feel like Steven Caple Jr. tried to make it his own. I just wish that the script would have balanced itself out more and would have
Yeah,
been, warranted this like very like film that's kind of like all over the place at times. Even though like I really enjoy it, the movie's like really kind of like all over the place sometimes. But I like this one a lot, especially on the second watch. Like I still really like this movie. I'm really excited to see what Michael B. Jordan will do with the director's chair now and see how that works. But like I don't know. I hate the way that this movie ends because I know that Rocky's not going to be in Creed 3
I mean, but
because
wouldn't you want it to end the way it kind of does with Rocky? Rekindling his relationship with his son and getting to meet his grandchildren. Like everyone, well, because you always think Rocky's going to die in that ring.
yeah,
Like that's where we all thought Rocky was going to die. If he doesn't, well, if he is around surrounded by family, hey, good for Rock.
yeah. I don't know. I felt like maybe that like it would have been like a little bit more stuff with it because like his son is like a big part in like Rocky Balboa,
Yeah,
the film Rocky Balboa, not the character itself, but
trilogy.
yeah. And I just felt like maybe we could have gotten a little bit more of that, and maybe seen him in Creed 3, him and his son, because like, Creed, Rocky Balboa is such a big part of Creed. Like, it's a big part, and I would have thought like maybe they would have just finished and wrapped that story up, even though it kind of does feel like the story wraps itself up at the end.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know, Brad. Anything else you want to bring up? I don't know. Tessa Thompson's a great singer. Yeah.
Tessa Thompson, great singer. I don't know. I just felt I feel like the first film overall was much better than
Oh
what
yeah.
was presented here, and I enjoyed that much more. I mean, I like certain aspects of this, but this as a whole movie falls kind of flat as compared to the first one.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. I'm just throwing shit.
I feel like the first Creed is like a, and I don't know if it's gonna sound like this. It's like a drama that's also a boxing movie, a sports film, and like this one is like trying to be too much of a sports film instead
well,
of like,
well, my thing is like you said, it has the first Creed has a good balance between, you know, they're introducing us to this Adonis character. They make us care of where he's coming from the very beginning and
yeah,
throughout this film. And it's not just about him, wanting to be a boxer and following his dad's footsteps. He's actually like trying to figure out his family and figure out who he is and his anger management issues while also falling in love. And it's just they somehow really make that work well together in the first film. And in this film, it's more like Creed versus Drago, and then you have all the other little stuff kind of peppered around it, and all the
yeah,
other stuff isn't like fleshed out enough.
yeah. Well, we'll see where it goes. Brad, what is your final verdict for Creed 2?
I'm going to give Creed 2 a 6.5 out of 10.
All right, I'm coming in a little bit higher than Brad, but I'm gonna go ahead and give Creed 2 on a second rewatch a 7.75 out of 10. I still really like this movie. I think I gave this movie like an 8 or something before. I don't remember. I didn't watch the video. I didn't watch the video, but I think I gave it a pretty high score. I really liked it. On the second time, I still really like it. But
I honestly would have given it a point more if they had Meek Mill songs
well,
in it.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying.
Well, Brad, we'll see how Creed 3 does. Of course, it is really important to note, Brad, that actually Ryan Coogler did the story for this one. He's not directing it, but he
I
did the
thought I
story.
thought I saw it was Keenan Coogler.
Yeah, but the script was written by Keenan,
A
his
script written by
brother.
Keenan.
Yeah, his brother
Yeah.
wrote the script, but the story was provided by both the brothers and Zach
Huh. Okay.
Balin. So
Okay.
we'll see.
I how much money did they give Michael B. Jordan for his first film?
I have no idea how much to direct this, but
I for your so here's Michael B. Jordan, I gotta admit, has some cojones on him. For
yeah,
his first film to be in the Rocky franchise as
yeah,
well as the third movie in a very successful Creed franchise, that's some major cojones. And like
yeah.
that that is not what I would want to try to be my first film. I would want my first film to be some 30-minute indie that no one got to see except like Raul and like two other people.
I know. Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh
so
my god.
so best of luck to Michael B. Jordan. I hope it's like fantastic and great and this leads to even more films for him. Because honestly, if this thing is just flops and is just like doesn't work out, we may never see Michael B. Jordan like
Direct
as a
another.
director ever again.
I don't know. I feel like they might give him like a little smaller project, but I don't think they would trust him with $75 million again.
No, is that
No,
what he has 75 million?
75 million budget for this film.
and he's already having to work uphill because Stallone isn't attached to this.
Yeah, he's only producing it. Stallone's only producing it,
Yeah,
so
but he's not in the film.
he's not in
So
the
that's already
film. He didn't write
working.
the script. Yeah,
I mean, that's already, so basically Michael B. Jordan is honestly betting on himself for this movie. That's what he's literally doing right now. So
yeah.
more power to him, I guess.
More power to him, man. But hey, I mean, they trusted him with it, man, and it's his directorial debut, so hopefully they're a little easy on him, you
Yeah.
know, because
I
it
mean
is
I
his first
mean
movie.
I think the first rule, like everyone knows about making movies, is making movies ain't easy.
No, it's not. It's not at all. But that concludes our review of Creed 2. And of course, we want to thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, if you want to keep up to date with everything that the Nerdcore is doing, make sure you follow us on our social media. Check out our website, thenerdcore.com. Check out our Twitter, the Nerdcore underscore. Check out our Instagram, the Nerdcore. Our Patreon is patreon.com/the Nerdcore, where you can get this episode early and live. And of course, in our description, we do have our Discord link. So if you want to talk about the Creed franchise with us, the Creed trilogy, talk to us about it.
Yeah, throw your comments in there.
Yeah, exactly. And to those who are watching on YouTube, this message is for you. Please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss a single review, and then leave a like on this video. But if you're listening on audio side of things, this next message is for you. Drop a 5-star review on the app that you're listening to that allows you to drop a 5-star review. If it doesn't allow you, well, shit, I'm sorry. But drop that 5-star review. You know we deserve it. Of course, we want to thank our Patreon supporters because without them, it's not possible. And Brad, we also have to thank our producers because without them, it's also not possible. We have a legacy producer by the name of Shane SRK. Brad, can you tell them where they can find Shane?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at thriftedil or go buy something from the Suppy God at prisoncityvintage.com.
All right. And of course, we want to thank our wonderful Kylie. I'm still not sure what, I don't know who got you. I give it a couple of days for all the cards to be charged when I do the new names, but I'll just shout out Kylie. Kylie, PLI on Twitter, Kylie's P Sports 90 on Instagram. Check them out. Of course, Brad, it's been fun, dude, but we will
Gotta
be
ring the bell.
back. Yep, ring the bell, ring the bell. Yep, we'll be
Ding.
back next week with our
On the
first
cow.
review of our first review of Van Queen month, and then for our extra review that week, we are going to be discussing Creed 3, I believe. We'll see who will be on that one. Probably me and Luis, more than likely, but we'll see. I know that the schedule's kind of weird, y'all, but we'll be back next week. You'll see what drops next week. Um, I think it is, what's it called? Creed 3 on, yeah, on March 8th, y'all. My birthday. My birthday. Yeah. All right, y'all. With that said, Brad, let's go ahead and get him out of here.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to Stacy for joining us in chat, and thank you to all those who join us in the future. Thank you to all the listeners out there, all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, yeah, don't bend the knee and take one on the chin. Young Yoda out.
Oh,
Hi.
you got disqualified.